Welcome to the poetry page of poeticprose.com. If you're watching on YouTube, please come visit us at poeticprose.com. On this page, the poetry page, you will find below the opportunity to listen to 3 poems of my poems recited by me. And if you journey to the Apollo's Academy page, you will have the opportunity to listen to the opening of another poem written in another structural form entitled Optics. And they come from my book of poetry, Optics, The Mystical Poet's Guide to the Science of Inner Sight, nominated and considered for the Pulitzer Prize. The 3 poems below introduce very special things in the book. The first introduces the book itself. It's entitled, therefore, To the Reader. It almost appears to be something written in the form of a haiku, though it has more than 17 syllables. Actually, I haven't counted them. But it attempts to achieve, rather, what a koan might achieve, if achieving is really what one attempts with a koan. But in any case, they remind me often of 4 very famous lines from William Blake's Auguries of Innocence, where he says, "To see a world in a grain of sand, and a heaven in a wildflower, hold infinity in the palm of your hand, and eternity in an hour." The first 4 lines, there are 6 in all, of To the Reader, I think you may enjoy as I enjoy those lines from William Blake. The second poem is the first, an introductory poem to the collection entitled Pillars for the Sufi. If one reads those, having read Jalaluddin Rumi, one might be reminded of some of the Sufi mystics. However, none of my poetry is derivative. They come from my own experience. What's so special about this poem is that it is the poem where the music, the melody, entered into my poetry. By comparison, when you hear the opening to the poem on the Apollo's Academy page, which is written in poetic prose, one can see the difference. But be that as it may, with this poem, In the Name of God, one very special thing about it for me is that having recited it many times and having talked with others who have heard it, perhaps live or on my disc, one never tires of hearing it. It's one of the things that's special about poetry that comes from that source from which poetry genuinely comes. In the Name of God is written in what one would see is a free verse pattern, but it has a great deal of melody and harmony infused into it. As I indicated before, music. It's where the music came into my poetry. So it remains very special to me. And the last poem on this page is entitled Winter, and it comes from my Sonnets to the 4 Seasons, where I wanted, rather than write, as I have in other places, a poem written in meter and rhyme. I wanted to write something that felt as if it had been written in meter and rhyme, but was clearly a poem written after the free verse revolution. And so I placed the poem within the context of what is clearly a Shakespearean sonnet. One finds the stanzaic arrangement of 4 lines, 4 lines, 4 lines, and a 2-line couplet. However, it's not written in iambic pentameter, and I've deliberately placed only one Shakespearean rhyme, which is at the end of the 2nd and 4th lines of this opening poem. All of the melody, the music, the harmony comes not from the normal metered, rhymed, structural way. And for that reason, I have written at the end of the sonnets an essay entitled The Melody of Poetry, which I hope those of you who are interested in poetry may read, to see how this has been achieved, that one can see a free verse poem and hear the beauty and the melody that we inherited from traditional structures of poetry. I hope you enjoy the poetry and listen to all of it, and either read the book or purchase the CD where you will hear many of the poems recited. Thank you very much.